In our previous video, we talked about how to use map, reduce, and filter, and how to pass in different kinds of functions to specify how to map, filter, or reduce. In this video, we're going to talk about how to sort, and how to specifically sort something your computer may not know how to sort. For instance, we have this built-in sort function in our TypeScript library. All you do is you call .sort on an object, on an array for instance, and say that array was an array of numbers, your computer would sort it, and it would know exactly how to sort it in ascending order. However, say you're passing in an array of humans, and you want to sort those humans by height. Your computer doesn't know what to sort them based off of. So that is what the comparator interface is for. It's for specifying when they should put one human in front of the other. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. So as an example, we're going to talk about pumpkins, because it's fall and everyone loves pumpkins right now. So let's go ahead and make a pumpkin class. So we're going to use that keyword class, and then we'll go ahead and type uppercase pumpkin, and we'll go inside with our curly braces. And we're going to make two fields. We're going to have a radius, which will be a number, and a weight, which will also be a number. So now, Hank and I have generated an array of pumpkins called Pumpkin Patch using this little snippet of code that randomly generated pumpkins for us based off of random radiuses and random weights. So if you want to pause your video and take a second to look at how we did this, feel free. Great, so we're going to go ahead and talk about how we can write a comparator function to tell the sort function how to sort pumpkins. And in our scenario, we're going to sort the pumpkins based off radius, because when you go to a pumpkin patch, you'll have the smaller sized pumpkins, and the medium sized pumpkins, and then the large sized pumpkins. So every comparator function takes in two objects of the same type as arguments, and then its return type is always a number. And that number, if it's a negative number that's returned, that means that the first parameter comes before the second one. And if the return number is a positive number, that means that the second number comes before the first. And if 0 is returned, that means there's no need to change the ordering. So let's go ahead and make this function. So we'll say function compare pumpkins, and that's going to take in A, which will be a pumpkin, and B, which will be a pumpkin. And our return type will be a number. So let's go inside, and we'll say we're going to sort by radius. So we'll say if a.radius is less than b.radius, we'll return -1. And else if b.radius is less than a.radius, we'll return 1. And then we can say else return 0. So now that we have this comparator function that follows the comparator interface, let's go ahead and use it to sort our pumpkins. So now that we have our comparator function, let's go ahead and print our pumpkins before we've sorted them to see where we're at. But if we simply write print pumpkin patch, we're going to get this array of object, 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 and our computer's not going to like it. And that's because our computer doesn't know how to print a pumpkin. So this is a great time for the map functions that we learned to use. So go ahead and pause the video and try and write a map function that will return all of the radiuses of the pumpkins. Great, so let's go ahead and walk through how we would make this quick map function. So we'll say function pumpkin to radius, it'll take in a pumpkin, we'll call it P, and it'll return a number because the radius is a number in our pumpkin. And all we have to do is simply return p.radius, and that's our simple map function. So if we want to say now, print pumpkin patch.map pumpkin to radius, now we see that we get all of these numbers that are associated with the radiuses of our pumpkins. So this is pre-sort. So now let's go ahead and call sort on it. So let's make a new pumpkin array that'll store our new sorted pumpkins. We'll say let sorted pumpkin patch be a pumpkin array, and we'll set that equal to pumpkin patch.sort, and we'll pass in our comparative function, and now we have that stored, so let's go ahead and print that once it's been mapped. We'll say print sorted pumpkin patch.map, and we'll say pumpkin to radius. And now we can see that our pumpkins have been printed in ascending order. We hope you had a gourd time watching this video, and we'll see you for the next one.